Cricket is my passion and I cannot avoid it. Hello and very good morning to all the beautiful people in Dubai and the rest of the world. India had once again a perfect game. They won the vital toss, bowled Scotland out cheaply and chased them down in 6.3 overs. They have shot their net run rate on the top of it. But now they are depending on Afghanistan. To discuss all about it, we have Watto with us. Hello and welcome once again, Watto.
Morning, Anis. How are you?
Very good. How about you?
Very good. Gosh, what a game it was to watch last night from an Indian fans' perspective. Geez, they are so dominant.
All right. You said it was very good from an Indians fans' perspective. You know, I was going through the scenarios where it says that, for example, if Afghanistan score 160 in the next game and beat New Zealand by 30 runs, India just needs to win by 21 runs, all right, to go ahead of Afghanistan in the net run rate. So if you are Afghanistan, let's presume you are with an Afghanistan mentality where you know now our fate is not only in our hands, but also in India's hands. Because if they win, they just don't go through it. So did India do a mistake by not dangling a carrot, by ensuring that they don't go too far ahead of Afghanistan, or India played the way they should have played?
No, India should have played exactly the way they played. They were so dominant from, yes, they won the toss, which was a great thing. But again, the wicket in Dubai is getting better. And it has been the last 3 games that have been played. That's a really good cricket wicket. So the toss shouldn't play a part from a conditions perspective. But when it comes to the ability to be able to bowl so well like India did, that was awesome. Yes, Scotland, look, they threw a few punches, that's for sure. George Munsey really got into, one amazing shot off Jasprit Bumrah. Geez, a big flick off his pads. Huge 6, and also his reverse sweeps against Ashwin were incredible. So they threw a few punches, but India were just too good. Bumrah was outstanding in the power play. That change of pace, gosh, it's just so hard to pick up. He just beats everyone. Jadeja was outstanding as well. The ball that he got Richie Berrington out to as well was a beautiful ball. Yeah. So India, their fielding was great. They were certainly up and about, and they dominated as they need to. They need to be dominant. They need to really put their foot on the accelerator, and they certainly did last night. And then, what about KL Rahul? How good is this guy? He is, when he's batting decently, he is one of my favorite batsmen in the world that I've ever watched. He can just hit the ball anywhere he wants. The first 6 he hit down the ground, he's got such beautiful technique. He can bang it down the ground for 6, but then just about the exact same ball, he can flick it over square leg, or he can give himself a bit of room and hit it over point as well. So for him to be able to get 50 off 19 balls, and Rohit Sharma hit some beautiful shots as well. So India played really the perfect game. It's along similar lines to how Australia played against Bangladesh in the previous game there, where they were so dominant. And that's exactly it. That's exactly what India would have dreamed of at the start of the day. And that's exactly what they delivered.
So now, how would Afghanistan play? Won't it influence the style of their play, where they know that just a win is not required? They need to win big. In going big, they might just play into the hands of the Kiwis?
I don't think things change for Afghanistan. They go hard no matter what. From a batting perspective, they're not dying wondering. So whether they bat first or second, they go all guns blazing. So which is awesome. That's why everyone loves watching the Afghans play, because they are just so entertaining. There's always action aplenty. So I don't think their game plan will change at all. When they're batting, they're going to go hard no matter what. And when they bowl, they've obviously, India as well as Afghanistan are hoping that Mujeeb is fit and ready to play, because it gives them more of a chance as well against New Zealand, especially through those, in the power play as well as through those middle overs. So, Afghanistan, they're going to go hard. So whether they need an extra 20 runs, the net run rate, that doesn't really matter. That's how they play. That's when they play their best, to be able to give themselves a chance to beat New Zealand. So that's going to be their game plan, I reckon.
Fair point. We saw New Zealand struggling a bit yesterday at Sharjah, where the wicket was slow. It was not coming onto the bat. It's only in the last 4 overs where they picked up their game with Phillips and Neesham. Abu Dhabi wicket is going to be different. So it's going to test Afghanistan spinners, but they have an advantage. They've been playing there for a long time.
Yeah, New Zealand did struggle a bit yesterday, and if it wasn't for Phillips and Neesham, they were in a fair bit of trouble. But they batted beautifully, and Namibia just couldn't execute in those last 4 overs in particular. So yeah, the Sharjah wicket was just one of those ones that just kept a bit low and turned a bit. But yeah, the Abu Dhabi wicket, it plays into New Zealand's hands a bit more in regards to their quick bowlers with Southee, Bolt, and Milne. Afghanistan have played there quite a bit as well, and they've had a bit of success there. So I think New Zealand would be happy to play them on a wicket that's got a bit of pace and bounce, because they can try and expose the Afghanistan batsmen and the batters. But yeah, it's going to be, well, the great thing about playing Abu Dhabi, there's just so much value for shots. It's a really, from my perspective, it's a really good cricket wicket. If you bowl well, from a spin perspective and fast bowlers perspective, you can do really well. But if you get in and bat well, you can score all around the ground, because there's really nice pace and bounce on the wicket. So Afghanistan, pace and bounce the wicket means they're going to go hard anyway. But from New Zealand's perspective, it probably brings them in, especially through the middle overs. With the ball doesn't normally turn that much there, they can hit through the line a little bit more. But again, it sets things up for, gosh, no one's going to miss that game, Afghanistan and New Zealand. It's going to be very interesting to watch.
Well, we have two big games coming up today. Australia playing first the West Indies in Abu Dhabi, and then South Africa take on England. What's your take on it?
Well, fingers crossed that Australia play just another really good game of T20 cricket. The West Indies have been surprisingly very poor, which I thought they were definitely one of the favourites going to this tournament, but they have not been able to bring it together at all. But they've got a lot to play for. One, because it's the Aussies, West Indies and the Aussies, especially in T20 cricket. Oh, there's a big rivalry there. So the West Indies they'll turn up, that'll galvanise their team unit just because they're playing against the Aussies. Chris Gale's potentially his last game. It's Dwayne Bravo's last game that he's announced. So there's a lot of pride at stake, and there's a lot to play for the West Indies, because they're going to want potentially Chris Gale and definitely Dwayne Bravo to go out on a high, because they've been incredible servants for West Indies cricket. So they're going to be wanting to play well. So Australia, they're going to have to be right on their game, because the West Indies do have so much firepower that can just come off. And we haven't seen it yet, but there's a really good chance that they could. So it's a very dangerous game for Australia in that regard. It is played at Abu Dhabi, so which is a beautiful ground to play at. And then yes, tonight, England, South Africa. That's going to be a great game as well. Obviously, South Africa need to win, and need to win well if Australia don't win. So yeah, what a day of cricket. I think there's going to be so much incredible cricket played today with those two games in particular, with so much on the line. So yeah, I can't wait to watch it.
Still difficult to pick one winner who will just take the cup, huh?
Oh, for me at the moment, England seem the most complete team right now. Pakistan have been very, very good. I do have still a few question marks around their middle order. Asif Ali has been outstanding, though, to finish off. But yeah, middle order, I've got a few question marks over. England have been, for me at the moment, been the most complete team in all conditions as well, playing in Sharjah. They were so dominant against Sri Lanka as well. So yeah, England at the moment are the standout. They've been playing brilliantly, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see if anyone's come through. But gosh, wouldn't it be ideal over the next couple of days if India and Australia are in the semi-finals against England and Pakistan? It'd be a mouth-watering semi-finals.
Oh yes. So we sincerely hope that Australia get past the West Indies, are in the last four, and we hope tomorrow Afghanistan actually answers the prayers of 1.3 billion people of India.
We'll
catch up with you, Brent. You have a great game today, and I'll see you soon.